Just want to film a video of my annuals, or I should say pollinator garden back here in the back because it's looking nice and full now. We've got veggie garden over on this side, compost bins back there. That's a bag of shredded leaves. I use that as mulch and we mix it into the compost as our carbon. I have this little container of, I think this is called Daybreak Charm, I want to say. It's a super petunia. Sunflower from Proven Winners. That I really love. That's one plant. I mean, bang for your buck. Look how big that thing is. My dahlias are now blooming back here. I've got, oh, that one's about to bud. These two, I've got this one and that one, are Fairway Spur, is what it's called. Dinner plate dahlia. I mean, look at that color. That is gorgeous. The first one that opened was facing the back of the garage, so I cut that and brought it inside. Oh, there goes my vole scurrying again. Oh, those voles. There are cats in the neighborhood that camp out back here, hide among the plants and hunt the voles, so they are welcome to do that anytime they would like. Back here is, I haven't got any big ones yet. This one is Cafe Olay. It's the first time that was available in garden centers. All of these I just buy from my local garden center. I don't order any because I don't have space for that many to make it worth ordering. Down here, this one is called Blue Boy. I did expect that one to get a little bit taller, but I'm glad I put it in the front because that would have been a mistake. I don't recall the name of this one. It's a yellow ball dahlia, but look how productive it is. It is just blooming like crazy. I do have some zinnias back there. I have queen lime red, queen lime orange, and then just a mix. Those hot pink and white ones are a mix. I think I used up the last of an old seed packet. My cosmos, I have apricota here in the front, and I have some pink and some white ones that were from a dwarf mix called Dwarf Sensation. Those I have grown for several years. This year they are probably about 6 feet tall. Normally they stay about 4 feet tall, which is why I have them in front. Had I known they would get this big, I would have put the zinnias in front and the cosmos towards the back, but I guess they're just extra happy this year. Not much I can do now, but enjoy them. I have another dahlia down here. Oh, the name is escaping me on these. I had bought two, they're a series, these dark leaf, they're dwarf varieties. I have it in a pot with the Supertunia persimmon, and then there was a smaller one. The tuber was kind of small, but I planted that in the ground right in front. I've got, this is gomphrena carmine. Love those. I grow that from seed, really easy to grow. I have an aster back here that will open up probably 3-4 weeks from now. It's blue. I'm not sure what variety it is. I think oh, there's one bloom open. One bloom. Right there. I'm not sure what variety that is because it was on clearance. It was unmarked. I just knew it was an aster, a blue aster. Probably woods blue, but I can't be sure. This is Zahara Salmon Zinnia. I love the Zahara series because they stay very small. They've got beautiful full blooms. And they get zero. I've never seen them have issues with powdery mildew. I've been growing them for several years now. I have a little container with some bidens and a couple geranium. Here's the other variety of that dark leaf dahlia. I want to say it's Mystic. No, I can't remember. Oh, I should have looked at the tag. 2 of them planted there. These are 4 o'clocks. They are open right now. Hummingbirds love these flowers. Bees love them. They kind of open and close. They'll be closed later on today, but I love that chartreuse foliage. And these actually self-seeded. I didn't expect that, so I had a couple self-seed from last year. So I think I'm going to try and harvest some seeds this year and grow them myself. This is the Luminary Opalescent Phlox. I have been super impressed with this. It is on its 2nd round of blooms now. It's very fragrant, and I normally, here we have powdery mildew like crazy on phlox, and I have not seen any signs of that yet on this one. And this is only its second year in the ground, and it's gotten really big. Behind it, I have a container, which I won't be able to do next year because everything is getting so big. But there is I want to say red mohawk or something, sweet potato vine, truffle of pink gomphrena, and then I have a combination of 3 super petunias. There's mini vista, sweet sangria. The white one is Vista Silverberry, and then there's sort of a pink and white variegated one back there. That one's called Raspberry Rush, and I have not really done much to this but water it, and it's just doing its thing. Back there, I only have 1 bloom open right now. I just planted that very late last summer, so it's its first year in the ground. That is the hibiscus summerific Holy Grail. I love the dark foliage. I really needed some dark foliage in this area. That was perennial. I have a ornamental cabbage, blue cabbage there. I just start that from seed. This is a dark tower sedum. I have a few of these. All of these I've gotten on clearance at the end of the year. There's one there. I think that one I'm going to have to move. It's just getting eaten up by the echinacea. I have a coreopsis there, those yellow blooms. That's a switchgrass in the back. And Anna's Magic Ball Arbovita. This one we had so much snow. We had record snowfall last winter. I think it was the second snowiest. So that one got kind of crushed from our second snowiest winter ever on record. But it has bounced back. I might try and think of a method to keep that from getting crushed again. I just planted some verbena. These were all on sale. I got a bunch of sale annuals for like $2 each. I want to say this is Super Bena Indigo, I think. This is the Noblessa yarrow it just blooms all summer. I cut it back and kept blooming. Little ground cover sedum there. An echinacea that has self-seeded. That is Giles von Hees Veronica. I planted that back when this was the edge of this garden. So I think I will move it because it's a little bit small. This Dusty Miller survives our winter. It sprouts in the spring and comes back every year in zone 4. I think I have a little protected microclimate back here. Behind it there's another Dark Tower sedum. And then I did plant a bunch of snapdragons back there. I think the purple and yellow are from the Speedy Sonnet line. Oh, I don't remember what those peach ones are. I just bought them in starter packs. That's a little lime hydrangea. Doing great, starting to get its pink color. I have Golden Dreams coleus, Wicked Witch coleus, and then there's an Albrito back there as well, kind of tucked behind. And then this is a Canna Pretoria. The bottles that are on the downspout there are a homemade squirrel baffle. I need to find a more attractive way or method of creating a squirrel baffle, but we have bird feeders up hanging from the gutter, hanging from the side of the garage. And the squirrels, they just wrap their little arms and legs around that downspout and climb all the way up. They just scale it right up. And they can jump onto any of the bird feeders that way and on the windows on the garage. But that baffle has worked really well, so it's just going to stay there for now. I have a Weigela here, Crimson Kisses. That one also got a little bit crushed, but it's blooming again on its new growth here. Mainly does its full bloom in the spring, early summer. This is a peach drift rose. This is its first year. I planted this late last year, so it just finished its second flush of blooms. It's just starting a smaller. I see a lot of buds on here, but I love that just neon peach color. I have some foxglove that I started from seed. That's Dalmatian peach. More gomphrena carmine in there. This is an Amsonia. I got on clearance. It was labeled as a type of miscanthus grass, mislabeled, which is why it was on clearance, but I recognized it as Amsonia. So I think I got that for $2. Another clearance annual, a couple of them here. This is the Petunia Vista bubblegum. And this is the salvia, what's the smaller one called, from Proven Winners. I have a dwarf stargazer lily there called After 8, done blooming. The blue flowers mixed in, those are bachelor buttons. They just kind of seed themselves in this area, and I let them go. I kind of go in periodically, deadhead the seed heads, and just let them drop. The goldenrod, this is a dwarf goldenrod, is opening its blooms. Nice bright sunny yellow. I don't like how it has split in the middle though, so I might try a little bit of a growth through frame next year. This is a Tor birchleaf spirea. It's doing a lot better this year. Last couple of years it had fungal disease, and you can see the leaves in there are a little bit thin and kind of turning yellow. Last year by this time it was almost completely defoliated. So I had transplanted it and cut it way back and really cleaned out everything from the middle, all the extra branches, just to clean it up. And I'm just being careful not to overhead water it, only to keep the moist water off the leaves as much as possible, because that will just spread the fungus. But I think it's going to recover. It is doing much better this year than it ever has. Just planted some annuals. That's a Cafe au lait Supertunia. Got that on clearance. It was under $2. Same with this Mini Vista Midnight Supertunia. I've got my little lion there. Clearance verbena. Peachy Keen is a variety. This is a Limelight Prime hydrangea that I got like $10 last summer. I think I may have to move it out a little ways from where it's at next year, because I think it'll get too big, but it's looking pretty now, nice and full of blooms. This hosta was unlabeled, also clearance. Very sun tolerant there. It is in pretty much full sun in this spot. And I do leave the blooms up. I like the color, but they're also extremely fragrant. And the bumblebees love them, all the pollinators. So I just clean them up once they kind of bloomed out and look ratty. This spot I have cleared out. I have a salvia here that I grew from seed, which gets really big and flops over every year. It's been fun, but I think I'm planning to dig that up, split it, and give the chunks away to people who have space for it in their garden. I can always grow it again from seed if I want it. I want to say it's Blue Victoria, or Victory Blue. Not Victoria Blue, but it's similar to that. It is not supposed to be hardy in my zone, but it has come back now for 4 years. There's the Albrighto coleus. That one is one of my favorites. I'm going to have to grow more of that. I grew it last year as well. It's a newer one. I will never be without coleus in my garden, and it's one of my favorite plants. And the Proven Winners coleus are worth the money to me, because they just perform. I don't have to deadhead the blooms all summer. They bloom really late. And yeah, they get really big too, so most of them. So you get a lot for your money because they take up a lot of space. I do have a shrub that I'm going to plant here once I dig out that salvia, which I plan to do this week. Here's another clearance plant, little, I think it's Laguna Dark Blue lobelia that I tucked in. I do have spring bulbs, some crocus, and some other things planted in this little patch, which is why I kind of moved it back, and this is empty. Can't really dig up in there, I don't want to. And then these are sweet tea heucherella. These do fantastic. I love heucherella, and I love the colors. These look really nice in the autumn time. So I do plan to expand all of my garden beds, get rid of most of this grass. But yeah, this is the pollinator garden. I love that little sundial thing. I got that at an antiques fair a couple years ago. And I do have a clematis on the trellis. Blooms early summer. I cut it back a little bit. It's kind of hard to get in there by the time it's done blooming. It's hot pink blooms. That one's called, I think it's Barbara Harrington is the variety. And I do have my daylilies there that are done blooming. Again, I hate the foliage on those. Kind of that hole in front of the switchgrass, that is a milkweed. It's a butterfly weed, the orange kind. So it blooms out and then kind of dies back in the summer. Oh, I do see one bloom. The bummer of that one is I think it blooms too early it blooms before the monarchs migrate this far north. So I think other butterflies benefit from it, but not really the monarchs. It's already done and dying back by the time they get here, or by the time I start seeing them around anyways. I love how the flowers of the cosmos just kind of bob in the breeze. They have a lot of movement. Yeah, pollinator garden is doing great.